各位弟兄姊妹，今天早上我们很特别的，我们有我们中间的一个在我们美国教会的讲员到我们中间为我们分享今天的圣经的话语，是我们中间有 Pastor Chris Helding， 他是我们在母会的一个实时的传道人，他Pastor Helding 他是刚刚从芝加哥过来几个月，他在这里是有一个residency program， 这个实习的这个2年的时间，他刚刚是在神学院毕业，是一个读学硕士的毕业，他在这里有2年的时间去实习，他有他的太太 Morgan 跟他在一起，所以我们很感谢主，让他们在我们中间。This morning is we are pleased to have Pastor Helding to come to have the sermon with us, and Pastor Helding is under a residency program in our mother church for 2 years, and Pastor Helding he just graduated from a seminary with a Master in Divinity program, and we are happy to have him to come here to share the God words with us, and also welcome to his wife Morgan worship together with us. And the sermon for this morning is from the book of Hosea, and the title of the sermon is An Unconventional Love Story.
Good morning.
早安。
I want to thank Pastor Daniel and all of you for having me come and preach today.
感谢田牧师邀请我来到你们中间，能向你们讲道。
I'm Chris Helding, and I have the pleasure of working with Pastor Daniel every week on our preaching team with the other pastors.
我是何牧师，那我跟田牧师每一周都在我们的宣道小组一起来研读。
And I know that he preaches the word faithfully and passionately, and so I pray that I can do the same today.
那田牧师呢，就是他讲到是非常的忠于我们的圣经，我希望我今天也是做同样的事。
I'm really excited to begin our series in the book of Hosea today, so let's begin.
我非常高兴我们开始来研读何西阿书，让我们开始吧。
A good story tells us something about God, about the world, or about ourselves.
一个好的故事告诉我们有关这世界、有关神或有关我们自己的事情。
Think about the books that people consider classics.
想想我们读过那些古典文学，
They don't just entertain us, they say something true.
它不只是拿来娱乐，它也说出了一些真理。
On the other hand, a book doesn't just convey information like a textbook.
它不像教科书一样这样子的把它的讯息给传播出去。
It teaches you by experience through the eyes of the characters.
它借着书里面的人物教导我们生活中的经验。
Advertising experts use the power of stories all the time.
广告公司常常用一些人生真实的故事来做广告。
Think about the commercials that try to tell us that smoking is bad for us.
想想看，那一些就是劝告大家戒烟的广告。
They use real stories of how somebody was addicted to cigarettes for years and it robbed them of their health.
那有很多人呢，因为常年的吸有烟瘾，然后就破坏了他们的健康。
And you might even be able to see the effects of smoking on the person's body.
所以你可以看见这吸烟呢对一个人身体的破坏的程度。
It helps you to understand the danger of smoking in a new way.
所以他用一个新的一点的方式来告诉大家吸烟的坏处。
And God knows the power of stories as well, and he uses it to teach us through the prophet Hosea.
所以神也知道的这个故事的那个强大的吸引力，所以他用何西阿这个先知来告诉我们一些故事。
Now, when you think of prophetic literature, you probably think of warnings and judgment.
所以就是在我们读这些寓言式的文学时，你可能会想到就是警告啊，或者是处罚。
The prophet's job was to warn people about God's judgment and call them back to return to the Lord.
所以呢，先知的工作呢，就是警告大家这个犯罪的结果，然后就要呼召大家回到神的面前。
And trust me, there will be plenty of warnings in Hosea.
哎呀，信任我啊，这何西阿书里面有够多的警告了。
But this prophecy starts a little bit differently.
但是这个寓言有一些不同。
It starts with a story.
它一开始是一个故事。
The title of our sermon series is Learning to Love Again.
我们的主题就是学习再爱。
So, as you may have guessed, the story of Hosea is a love story.
所以你可以猜，就是何西阿的故事是一个爱的故事。
But it's an unconventional love story.
但是是非比寻常的爱的故事。
Hosea's prophecy begins with a story because before we can understand his message, we need to understand something about God.
所以在故事之前，我们要先明白一些神的一个特征。
And there's no better way to teach that than with a story.
所以没有任何方式可以教导，就是要透过这个故事。
Like most stories, it begins with a problem and it ends with a resolution.
所以这故事开始是个问题，结束是一个解答。
But it's everything in between that makes this love story so unconventional.
在这故事的中间，就是让这个爱的故事是多么的非比寻常。
It's in the middle of the story, in the tension between the problem and the resolution, that we learn something about God.
在这故事的中间，它有一些这个问题跟这个解答的这个挣扎，就成为这个故事的非比寻常。
We start out with the story of Hosea's marriage to a woman, Gomer.
所以就开始就是何西阿娶了这个女人歌灭。
But we quickly learn that it's not just about Hosea and Gomer, it's also about Israel and God.
那么很快就联想到，这不只是何西阿跟歌灭的婚姻，也是神和他的子民的关系。
This story begins with a ruptured relationship.
这故事的开始是一个破碎的关系。
We see this beginning in Hosea 1, verses 2 to 3.
从何西阿书第1章2到3节。
When the Lord first spoke through Hosea, the Lord said to Hosea, "Go, take to yourself a wife of whoredom, and have children of whoredom, for the land commits great whoredom by forsaking the Lord."
1章2节，耶和华初次与何西阿说话，对他说：“你去娶淫妇为妻，也收纳从淫乱所生的儿女，因为这地大行淫乱，离弃耶和华。”
So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim, and she conceived and bore him a son.
于是何西阿去娶了底拉因的女儿歌灭，这妇人怀孕，给他生了一个儿子。
And this isn't the kind of life that we would expect from a prophet.
这不是我们可以想象是一个先知的生活。
God tells him to marry an undesirable woman, a prostitute.
神叫他去娶一个妓女为妻。
Then God tells Hosea to name his children some strange names, including No Mercy and Not My People.
所以神呢叫他何西阿去给他的孩子命名，就是不蒙怜悯的，或是非我子民的那一种奇怪的名字。
Now, these were not in the top 10 baby names of ancient Israel.
这些名字啊，不是在古代以色列那个前10名的给孩子取的名字。
Hosea's family symbolized the way God felt about his family, Israel, at the time.
何西阿的家庭就象征了神怎么样感觉他的那以色列百姓。
God told Hosea to do these strange things because they were a sign for the people around him in Israel.
那他呢，神告诉他取这些奇怪的名字，就是象征当时神跟以色列民那种奇怪的关系。
It was a living illustration for them. And it was just as strange for them as it is for us.
这是一个活生生的图画，这对他们那时候是觉得奇怪，对我们现在人也是觉得奇怪。
Who would intentionally go and marry a prostitute? It was culturally taboo.
谁会就是故意的去娶一个妓女为妻呢？这是我们文化中的忌讳。
It wouldn't make sense to do that. That's just not what you look for in a wife.
就是根本就不合，不能够明白，这是真的是太奇怪的婚姻了。
And God knows how the people will react to this.
神也知道人们呢会怎样的来回应。
He's using this illustration to show them how strange his marriage, his relationship is with them.
他用这个活生生的图画来说明，这神呢跟那个当时以色列人的一个奇怪的关系。
The relationship is strange because it's been ruptured, broken by unfaithfulness.
因为这关系奇怪，是因为它已经破碎了，它是因为对婚姻的不真不忠实。
See, God had chosen a particular group of people, Israel, to be his own, to belong to him in a special way.
神呢选了以色列民作为他的特选的选民，他们是特别属于他的。
He made a covenant with them, an exclusive partnership.
他与他们立约，他们就是两个特别的一个伙伴的关系。
And we understand marriage as this kind of partnership.
所以我们了解婚姻就是这样一个特别的伴侣关系。
It's a covenant between one man and one woman who become one flesh.
这是一个约定，就是一个男人跟与一个女人合而为一的约定。
They belong to one another and no one else.
他们就只属于彼此，还不是属于别人。
And God was like a husband to Israel.
神呢，就像是以色列民的丈夫。
They were supposed to belong to him alone.
他们就只能单属于他。
But they had broken the covenant.
但是以色列民呢毁了约定。
They were worshiping other gods, the gods of the pagans all around them.
他们随从的假神，崇拜的那个异教徒的那些假神们。
God was married to a promiscuous people.
神呢娶了一个淫乱的民族啊。
He's saying, you think it's messed up for my prophet Hosea to go marry a prostitute?
哇，你想啊，哎呀，这是乱套的，你怎么叫何西阿去娶了一个妓女呢？
Take a look in the mirror. How about me, God, being married to you while you run around with all these other gods?
哎呀，照镜子嘛，看看我这个神娶了你们这个乱七八糟的民族。
Now that's messed up.
这真的是乱套了。
Hosea's wife is a perfect illustration of how Israel is.
何西阿的太太就是一个很完美的一个活生生的例子，就是当时以色列就是像他那样。
Gomer is a sexually promiscuous woman in the same way that Israel is a spiritually promiscuous people.
对，歌灭在性关系上的淫乱，就像以色列人他们在宗教属灵上的淫乱是一样的。
Gomer is in the habit of going around to all of her different lovers and receiving payment for her services.
歌灭有不同的情人，然后他提供服务给他们，收取费用。
Now, in ancient Israel, women were highly dependent on their husbands to provide for them financially.
在古代的以色列，女人是在经济上完全依靠男人而得到各所需。
But Gomer had no husband.
但是歌灭没有丈夫。
She gave her body away to all these different men, and their payments took care of her needs.
她以她的肉体给不同的情夫来换取经济上的费用。
But when Hosea took her for a wife, in effect, he was saying, I will provide for you.
何西阿娶她的时候，事实上他说了：“我将要供养你。”
You don't need these other lovers. I will take care of you.
你不需要这些情夫，我是你的丈夫，你是我的妻子，我会照顾你。
The tragedy we find in chapter 3, verse 1, is that Gomer doesn't accept that.
但是在第3章，我们看到的悲剧了，歌篾呢不接受何西阿。
She doesn't accept that Hosea is the only one, and that she doesn't need any other lovers.
她不接受何西阿只是她唯一的男人。
She commits adultery. She goes off with another man.
她就是犯了婚外情，跟别的男人私奔了。
And the Lord said to me, Go again, love a woman who is loved by another man and is an adulteress, even as the Lord loves the children of Israel, though they turn to other gods and love cakes of raisins.
这是到何西阿3章1节，耶和华对我说：“你再去爱一个淫妇，就是他情人所爱的，好像以色列人虽然偏向别神，喜爱葡萄饼，耶和华还是爱他们。”
The relationship has been ruptured.
这个关系破碎了。
In the same way that Gomer rejected Hosea's love, Israel has rejected God's love and turned to other gods.
歌篾呢拒绝了何西阿的爱，就像以色列人拒绝了神的爱，而转从追随其他假神一样。
They don't love the Lord, but they love to worship these other gods.
他不爱我们的主，他爱去追随其他的假神。
And they love what these gods supposedly provide for them.
那爱这些假神，是因为他们觉得假神可以提供给他们一些好处。
The Baals who Israel worshipped were pagan fertility gods.
巴力这假神呢，就是异教徒所谓的生殖的神。
And they thought if they brought them sacrifices and if they did their rituals, then these gods would provide for them.
他们想呢，如果他们把一些牺牲和就是祭拜，这些假神会带给他们富足财富。
The rains would come and the crops would grow and the people would have everything they needed.
雨就下来了，会长到地上长的谷子，人们呢就得到他们一切所需要的东西。
But just like Gomer, Israel had no need to seek out these other lovers.
就像歌篾一样，以色列人他们其实是不需要再去寻求别的假神的。
They already had a husband who was more than capable of providing for them.
因为他们有一个丈夫，他足够提供他们所有的需要。
God was capable of taking care of them.
神是绝对的可以照顾他们的。
The rupture in this relationship was needless.
这个关系的破碎其实是不需要的。
But that's only the beginning of the story.
但是这只是故事的开始。
It begins with a ruptured relationship.
它开始是一个破碎的关系。
But if we read just the next verse in chapter 3, we see the end.
然后我们在第3章的后面，你就会看到故事的终结。
The story ends with a restored relationship.
故事的结束是一个重建的关系。
God told Hosea to go again and love his adulterous wife.
神叫何西阿去把他的犯了婚外情的妻子给赎回来。
So what does he do?
他做了什么呢？
Chapter 3, verse 2 says, So I bought her for 15 shekels of silver and a homer and a lathek of barley.
何西阿书3章2节，我并用银子15克舍勒，大麦1赫梅尔半，卖它归我。
Hosea goes and buys Gomer back.
何西阿去把他的妻子赎回来。
Now, the story doesn't tell us why he needed to go and buy her.
那这个故事并没有告诉我们为什么他需要去把她赎回来。
Perhaps her lovers stopped providing for her, and she had to sell herself into debt slavery just to survive.
也许他那一些情夫们呢，就不再给他金钱了，所以他把自己卖了，来做奴隶，来偿债务。
The point is that there was a separation, but that's not the end of the story.
所以这里有一些分离，但是这不是故事的结尾，
It ends in restoration.
它的结尾就是重建。
And that's God's message for his people as well.
这也是神给他的子民的讯息。
He says, "You've broken the covenant, you've broken our relationship, but I am going to restore it."
你毁了约定，你打断了我们的关系，但是我将要把它重建起来。
We see God's promise of restoration all over this passage.
我们看到神应许重建，在这整个讯息里面。
Chapter 2 ends with a picture of what God's relationship with his people will one day look like.
第2章的结尾，就是看到一个图画，就是神和他子民，有一天他的关系将要看起来如何。
They'll answer his voice and know him and love him like a husband, and in return, he'll provide everything they need.
他们将要回应他的声音，要知道他，要爱他如丈夫一样，然后神要提供给子民所有的所需。
It all ends with this beautiful statement in chapter 2, verse 23.
所以它结束就是第2章的第23节。
And I will sow her for myself in the land, and I will have mercy on no mercy. And I will say to not my people, You are my people. And he shall say, You are my God.
23节，我必将他种在这地，素不蒙怜悯的，我必怜悯；本非我民的，我必对他们说，你是我的民。他必说，你是我的神。
It's a total reversal of their separation from God.
完全就是反转过来，他们原来分离的关系。
Now, in our previous series, Amos saved the happy ending for the end.
在我们前面有一本书叫做《阿摩司书》，它最后的结束是快乐的结束。
But Hosea gives away the happy ending in chapter 1 and 2.
可是呢，到何西阿第1、第2章，剧情急转直下。
That's because to understand Hosea's message, you need to know the beginning and the end.
所以你要了解何西阿的故事，你要了解它的开头跟结尾。
The key is how to get from one to the other.
这个重点就是如何从这一点到那一点。
It's in the middle that we find out something about God.
就是在中间，我们发现神是怎么样的。
So, how do we get from no mercy to mercy? From not my people to my people?
如何从不蒙怜悯的到蒙怜悯，从非我子民到是我子民呢？
How do God and his people get from a ruptured relationship to a restored one?
如何从一个破碎的关系到一个重建的关系呢？
Well, Hosea 1 to 3 uses a technique of Hebrew writing called chiasm.
何西阿书1到3章就是一种希伯来文的写法，就是一种平行、循序渐进的文学。
Parallel passages are used to lead us to the middle and highlight what's there and its importance.
它循序渐进，一直到最中间，中间就是最重要的部分。
The center of this passage is chapter 2, verses 5 through 8.
这个整个故事的中心就是第2章5到8节。
That's where we find the key to getting from rupture to restoration between God and his people.
我们找到这支钥匙，就是如何破碎到重建神与子民之间的关系的钥匙。
In this story, restoration comes through discipline.
所以从这个故事里面，重建关系是透过刑罚训诫而来。
Read with me starting in verse 5.
我们从第5节开始。
For their mother has played the whore. She who conceived them has acted shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, who give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax.
第5节，他们的母亲行了淫乱，怀他们的母做了可羞耻的事，因为他说：“我是随从所爱的，我的饼、水、羊毛、麻、油、酒都是他们给的。”
Therefore I will hedge up her way with thorns, and I will build a wall against her, so that she cannot find her paths.
因此，我必用荆棘堵塞他的道，筑墙挡住他，使他找不着路。
She shall pursue her lovers, but not overtake them, and she shall seek them, but shall not find them. And she shall say, I will go and return to my first husband, for it was better for me then than now.
第7节，他必追随所爱，却追不上，因为他必寻找他们，却寻不见，便说：我要归回前夫，因为那时的光景比如今还好。
And she did not know that it was I who gave her the grain, the wine, and the oil, and who lavished on her silver and gold, which they used for Baal.
他不知道是我供他五谷新酒和油，又加增他的金银，他却以此供奉巴力。
In this story, restoration comes through discipline.
在这故事，重建是始于刑罚跟训诫。
If God is going to bring his people back to him, he has to judge them.
如果神要把他子民带回来，他需要处罚他们。
He's judging them, first of all, because they deserve it.
他这子民受处罚，因为他们是应该的，该受的。
We get a glimpse of the people's sinfulness in this passage.
从这讯息里面看过那个人们犯了多少罪。
Not only are they going after other lovers, other gods,
他们不只是跟随了其他的情人或者是别的假神，
they're misidentifying the source of all their blessings.
他们也误解了他们的祝福的来源。
They think the food and the riches that God gave to them actually came from Baal.
他们以为他们的食物和财富都是从巴力得来，
So they're taking the gifts that God has given them, and then they're offering them up on the altar of a false god.
他们把从耶和华神得来的祝福，他们把它就是拿去崇拜巴力假神。
It's as if you gave a gift to your spouse, and then they turned around and re-gifted that to their secret lover.
那个就好像你就是送一个礼物给你最亲爱的妻子，结果这个妻子把它给送给他地下情人了。
God is justifiably angry.
所以神当然是非常生气的。
But he's not judging them simply out of wrath.
所以神的处罚并不是只有出于愤怒那么简单，
He has a greater purpose in mind.
在他心里还有一个更大的目的。
He's not punishing them so much as disciplining them so that they return to him.
所以他不只是处罚他们，也是在就是给他们定下戒条。
How?
如何来做呢？
Well, he's going to cut off their access to these false gods.
所以第一，他就是要把他所有的那些祝福、那些来源全部的都挪去。
He's going to frustrate all their attempts to go after these other lovers.
所以让他们就是不太有可能再去追寻那些假神。
That's easy to do because what they're actually seeking when they go after these other gods are the blessings that they think they're getting.
这是很容易做，因为他们觉得他们去崇拜这些假神，然后他以为这些祝福都是从假神得来。
But the blessings really come from the Lord.
但是所有的祝福都是从我们的耶和华神来的。
He needs only to withhold his blessings to expose how false and non-existent these gods really are.
所以他如果不给祝福了，那所以这一些假神就可以看出来，就是真的是不值，也不存在。
In the next section of chapter 2, God shows exactly what he's going to do.
在下面一节的第2章，神呢就说他就是要怎么样确实来执行。
He's going to take back his jewels and his money and his clothing and strip it all away until their land is as bare as a desert.
他们要把他们的食物、衣服、珠宝，还有他们那肥美的土地，把它变成荒芜。
Only then will they return.
只有那时候，这些子民才会归回。
Israel has forgotten who led them out of Egypt and fed them in the wilderness.
以色列人已经忘了当初出埃及的时候， 是谁喂养在荒野里面喂养他们？
They have to return to something like the wilderness in order to remember.
所以他们必须再回到旷野来记住当初是怎么样的事情。
That's exactly what happened in the year 722 BC when the Assyrian Empire invaded.
这就是公元前722年，当亚述帝国入侵的时候，
They pillaged their riches and destroyed their cities, and they brought the people into exile in a foreign land.
他们夺了他们的土地和他们财富，然后把他们这些人呢都赶到那个荒芜的地方去。
And while they were in exile, the people would have to live without some things, which we can see in chapter 3, verse 4.
所以他们被外放的时候，他们呢没有什么东西可以生活。第3章可以看到，
Since their king won't lead the people to follow God, he'll take away their king.
因为他们的王呢也不带着人民去朝见耶和华神，所以神就把他们的王给取去了。
Since they offer sacrifices to false gods, he'll take away their whole religious system.
因为他们崇拜假神，所以神呢就把他们整个宗教的系统给挪去了。
He'll take away the sacrifices and the temples and the priests.
就把这一些这些崇拜啊，或者是庙堂啊，或者祭司啊，全部都挪走了。
And they'll be as poor and helpless as the day they were born.
所以他们是又穷又无助啊，就像一个刚出生的时候一样。
Israel is like a spoiled child who loves their toys more than their parents.
以色列啊，就像一个被惯坏的孩子，所以呢，所以他呢那个得到了很多就是玩具，从父母给他太多的东西了。
They need to have their treasured possessions taken away so they remember who provided them.
所以呢，把他们的所爱的玩具拿走的时候，他们才会记住是谁给他这些东西。
So God will remove his blessings and allow his people to become poor and helpless and miserable like Gomer.
所以啊，神就挪去他们这些人所爱的，让他们又穷又无助。
When their other lovers prove to be worthless, then they'll remember their first husband and return to him.
所以他的那些情妇们呢，看起来就是没有用处的时候，就是才会想起来第一任的丈夫是多么的好啊。
Restoration will come through discipline.
所以重建关系是从刑罚训诫而来。
And it's here in the middle of this unconventional love story that we discover something about God.
所以在这段故事中间，我们看到的是有关神的某些特征。
God loves his people so much that he's willing to take away all that they love.
神呢，爱他的子民，爱到甚至可以把这个他们所爱的给挪走。
He could have let his people stay in their sin, never knowing fellowship with their true covenant God.
所以他呢是可以让那些人呢就继续在这个罪中，然后去随从假神，然后从来就不能够享受这个有真实的约定的这种关系。
But he loved them enough to give them a wake-up call, one that was painful for them and for him.
所以可是神呢爱他的子民，他要给他一个警告，让他们觉得痛，这个是为他们好。
God's plan to bring restoration through discipline is the key to understanding the book of Hosea.
神计划把从那个刑罚这个戒律之中得到重建的关系，就是这整本何西阿书的关键。
It's a book about God's love, a love that's perfect but not always pleasant.
这本书呢是关于神的爱，这爱呢是完美的，但是不是很喜乐的。
It's a book about how far God will go to bring his people back to him.
所以这书就是告诉我们，神啊就会极尽所能去把他的子民呢再领回来。
And we know how the story ends.
我们知道故事结尾，
Look at the end of this passage, chapter 3, verse 5.
所以在这个讯息的结尾，第3章第5节。
Afterward, the children of Israel shall return. and seek the Lord their God, and David their king, and they shall come in fear to the Lord and to his goodness in the latter days.
3到5节，后来以色列人必归回，寻求他们的神耶和华和他们的王大卫，在末后的日子，必以敬畏的心归向耶和华，领受他的恩惠。
Israel will return to God, and David their king.
以色列人将要回归到他们的耶和华神和大卫，他们的王。
Jesus Christ was that king in the line of David, through whom God's people would return to him.
耶稣基督就是大卫王的后代，所以这些以色列的子民将要再回到他之中。
On the cross, God's love was fully displayed.
在十字架上，神的爱也是充分的显明。
Though it was costly and painful, he made a way for his people to return to him.
但是却付上了极大的代价跟痛苦，使我们他建了一条道路，使我们能够再归回到他的面前。
If you're a follower of Jesus, then you know what it means to return to God.
如果你是耶稣的信徒，你知道什么叫做回归到耶和华神的面前。
Starting a relationship with God, it's not like meeting a stranger.
跟神建立关系，并不是见到一个陌生人那样，
It's more like returning home to the person who's loved you all along.
而是就像回到家，回到那个你已经从来就已经知道他爱你的那个人的家里。
Because even when we rejected him, when we were looking for other lovers, he loved us.
就算我们在拒绝他的时候，当我们随从其他的假神的时候，他还是爱着我们的。
God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Romans 5:8.
罗马书5章8节，唯有基督在我们还做罪人的时候为我们死，神的爱在此向我们显明了。
But before we can love him in return, he's got to take away everything else that we love.
在我们能够爱他，回馈他的爱之前，神要把我们的所爱的挪走。
For some of us, that's a painful process as God wrenches away all of the things that we're trying to cling to.
神就是挪走我们所爱的，所以我们能够清清白白的来到神的面前。
For all of us, following God means leaving everything else behind.
对我们来说，追随耶和华神，就是我们要放下我们的所有。
The most basic fact about a marriage is that it's between you and only one other person.
这个特别的婚姻关系就是你和另外一个人。
When you marry someone, you're saying yes to them and no to everyone else.
我们结婚的时候，我们就对这个人说我愿意，那对别的人就说我不愿意。
It's the same way with God.
同样的，对神也是这样。
To say yes to Jesus means to say no to everything in the world that competes for our love.
我们向耶稣说我愿意，就对世界的其他就说我不。
If you haven't done that, then today can be the day.
如果你还没有这样做的时候，今天是你的时候。
But even if you call yourself a Christian, Hosea poses a question for you.
如果你是基督徒，何西阿要问你一个问题：
Do you have another lover?
你另有所爱吗？
It could be a job, a person, your family, respect, security.
可以是工作、一个人、家庭，或是安全感，或者是敬重感。
If you have something that you love more than God, are you willing to throw it away and turn back to him?
你有你所爱的，居然是超过神，你愿意把它放下吗？
If you're not, he loves you enough to take it all away.
如果你无法放下你另有所爱的，神爱你足够的把这一切都为你挪去。
Let's pray.
我们祷告。
Father, thank you that you made a way for us to return to you. that through Jesus Christ, you bought us. You enabled us to say no to the world and say yes to you and to follow you with our whole hearts. I thank you for your word, for the message of Hosea that poses a challenge to us. Are we running after something else that's not you? And I pray that through your Spirit, we would have the strength to throw off everything else that we're clinging to, and that we would run to you and love you with our whole hearts. I ask this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.